listeners, and welcome back to the Skylight Books podcast series. You're in for another Better Than the Movie, in which some booksellers get together to talk with a talented guest about movie adaptations of books. This is actually the 1-year anniversary of Better Than the Movie. We've been around for a year. Hooray!
Holy shit, is that true?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Started with
What
a
an
knock
accomplishment.
at the cabin, and it now continues with a knock in the face with a paddle. Today's guest is a former Skylighter, former host of the Skylight podcast series, Lit Angelist. I just added a T to that. Lit Angelus, excuse me. She works at the Los Angeles Review of Books, doing a thing. I don't know your title. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I think it's Emily Evangelist.
Yeah, it's just Emily at books all the time.
I was also adding a T.
Yeah, Evangelist.
I thought it was pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Emily VanKoughnett. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. What's up? Good to be back.
Yeah.
Celebrating the 1 year. I'm honored.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a grand.
We've grown
grand
so
moment.
much.
No,
I mean-
you couldn't argue there was any kind of stasis that occurred.
No, never.
sort of like we're frozen in amber for all times.
And you decided for this episode you're going to bring us The Talented Mr. Ripley,
Yes.
a book by Patricia Highsmith, a film written and directed by Anthony Minghella. Why did you pick this particular title?
Well, I mean, we're in an interesting era in the film cycle, right? Like, there's not much coming out, one could argue. It's award season, but, and I have never read this book, and I've always wanted to, and I think the lore of Patricia Highsmith is very fascinating. Not even the lore, just like she's a crazy lady, or was a crazy lady.
She might still be alive. We don't know.
Yeah, honestly,
how good
she
the
could
lore
have
is.
could have given us the slip. Yeah.
Pretty sure she's dead. But yeah.
But I think there would have been a trail of snails behind her.
Yeah, it's
her and her
possible,
like
it's possible.
300 snails. That she.
You think that's a dead giveaway?
Yeah.
Check all the
She's
snail
just too obsessed with
shops.
the snails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it'd be fun. Nothing like a little thriller to kind of dig our teeth into. And I never read the book, never had seen the movie. So
really?
I know, brand new. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Brand spanking
And
new.
the miniseries is coming soon.
And the miniseries is coming soon. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
felt.
It's vague. It's vaguely appropriate.
Yeah, it was like of all the things, I was like, there's something forthcoming about it.
And we all got our Netflix screeners for that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
I actually
course.
did
Just
find out I
checking.
have access to one. So
Dude,
that's my power. Yeah, I
Come
found
on,
out.
hook it up,
But I found out
dude.
yesterday, and he was like, "You're just not gonna have time." And I was like,
Rude.
"Okay, thank you so much."
But anyway, who are the three booksellers who are talking to this talented guest? Guess what? It's me, your co-host, Justin Remer.
It's your boy, Allan.
Tyler?
Did you forget your name?
Well, no, usually you say your last name.
Yeah, it felt being nasty. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
Change it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Tyler Austin.
Don't
I
look at
don't
me like
feel
that.
like being nasty.
He did not feel nasty at all.
That's it.
Sorry, it's your boy, Allan Traylor.
Thank you.
You happy?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Stick to the format.
All right.
All right.
Like me loose.
No.
I'm a loose goose, man.
Nope. Tighten it up.
All right.
Pep Boy. Wait, no. Is it? What was it? Who was the other one? Pep Boys. No, it was.
Pep-
Tighten up. Yeah, it was the commercial. Anyways, don't worry about it.
You're having a
Pep Boys
full-on
is a-
stroke. I
yeah.
don't know where
Is
you...
Pep Boys
Pep
Tighten
Boys
Up?
is a thing.
Did they do Tighten Up?
Yeah, they do tires or
the commercial?
cars or.
The commercial for
I
Tighten Up.
don't
All right,
remember a
it's
single
fine. We don't have
commercial
to-
for that. Could be regional.
Justin, when you edit this,
Yeah.
drop in the commercial.
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna find this out. I'll drop it in here.
People in your cars, tighten up. Pickup truck, tighten up. Need insurance, tighten up. It's Titan Auto Insurance.
See, Tyler wasn't crazy.
Thank you.
It's just,
Sec-
it's just sounds of crickets.
Second, yeah. Second read. Oh no, Tyler was crazy. Oh.
They've never done a jingle, the Pep Boys. Yeah.
Nope.
So usually in our first segment, we like to talk a little bit about things that are in the genre of the thing we read, and it's a little tricky because it's a crime story. It's a portrait of a disturbed mind. It's a con man story. So there's a lot of things we could potentially talk about. What would you like to bring up? You are our guest,
Me?
Emily.
I go
It's
first?
on you.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Because I feel like mine is like, perhaps also the era of the movie. I immediately think of Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, sure.
A little Leo joint. I had like 3 DVDs growing up, and that was one of them.
Oh, that's a good one I have, though.
Yeah. Also, like the credit sequence, like the arrows are so similar to kind of the like vibe of all the jazz credits
kind
on
of
the
is, yeah.
Very Saul Bass inspired.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're unfamiliar with the incredible tale, forging money, being every job under the sun, that he invents himself
and rocking it,
getting laid all the time. So many young
the dream.
Yeah, and he gets caught eventually. He gets caught eventually, but it's a good time.
I forget where it was, but I heard recently that the last thing that it says at the end, it's like now Frank, is it Abagnale or whatever?
Yeah.
Abagnale.
Abagnale, sure.
Junior.
Franco Abagnale, like now hosts seminars about like this kind of thing. That's made up. That's not true.
Yeah. I feel like he's just continued to be a fraud.
Well, and like much of the story in his autobiography is also probably like not true. Like he probably didn't do most of the stuff he claimed he did, which is totally in line with him being a big liar.
So and I love that.
It's kind of like a Confessions of a Dangerous Mind kind of shit.
Yeah, a good example.
And I kind of love that, like, once a fraud, always a fraud. Like, you really can't give up the lifestyle.
People can change.
Yeah.
People can change.
I'm sorry, I got hit with some irony. Some irony spittle hit me. It was dripping so heavy with irony.
I said people, not me.
Oh, okay. Should I go?
Sure, why not?
Sure.
We're doing it. I'm willing to be loosey goosey.
Whoa.
Yeah, even this guy.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great pick. Also was reminded of In a Lonely Place, the Dorothy B. Hughes, another lady crime writer. Okay.
For the ladies.
We support the women. We like the ladies.
We support women in crime.
Also writing a book about a guy who's probably a serial killer from his deranged point of view.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Look, he doesn't mean to be.
Well,
depending on the version.
I guess depends who you're talking about. Yeah. But in this case, it's really good. It's a really great kind of like post World War II story, which I guess this also falls into. And like, no one served in this movie because they're all rich and well off. But it's really good. And the movie's great with Humphrey Bogart. So directed by Nicholas Ray. Would definitely recommend. It's always on TCM. Give it a go.
Yeah.
So that's a double-barreled wreck.
Did you read that one, Emily?
No.
You didn't? Oh, okay. Oh, Elena did.
Elena did.
And you two are the same in my mind.
Yeah,
Previous
that's fair.
guest Elena.
Anyways, previous guest Elena.
they both co-hosted Lit Angeles, therefore one person.
One person.
Lit Angeles co-host.
Yeah. We are
in the same way that all three of us are the same person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's really good.
Yeah, I will consider reading.
Very,
as always.
very dark. Very much in tone. Very similar.
Yeah, that would be funny if like our recs, if we change the format and our recs are literally pitching to each other. I think you would really
honestly,
like
you'd
this.
love this.
Honestly, yeah, I would take that. If this whole podcast was just people pitching me things personally, I would be a guest all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
Well, we could do that, but we'll just
pitching and screaming.
We'll call it a phone call,
switch off.
and then
just you're taping all my phone calls now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's taking a
You've
dark
signed
turn.
off. We're very good at forgery on this podcast, like some people.
Are we?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talented,
Oh, I see. What a great
you got it. You
segue.
know. Yeah. All right. Your time. Your
right,
time
Mr.
to shine.
Traylor.
I was
Alan,
trying to
if
think
that's
of
your real name.
con movies. It is.
Okay.
I mean, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind was a good call.
Yeah.
That's a great.
I was thinking of a lot of movies. I was thinking of 6 Degrees of Separation, which is also about incepting your way into a family, and also a gay hustler. But I was thinking of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, The Sting. But honestly, when I was reading the book version, especially of Ripley, I kept thinking of Good Time, where he's just going from bad situation, and making it work. But it's fucking stressful the entire time. That was like the deepest comparison that I kept coming back to.
Honestly, that's funny because I thought of like Uncut Gems at a certain point, and just being like,
Softies
wow,
are all over this
I'm
bad
like,
boy.
like I'm much more stressed out by Ripley than I was by Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Which is like such a bold statement, but I was like, I have to put this book down because I'm stressed out by
well,
this
I think
man's
because
actions.
especially in the book, like you hear his whole thought process,
Yeah.
and you're like, how does he fucking keep getting away with this? Like, holy shit.
He's always pushing it just a little too far.
And then he's constantly like, am I just trying to get caught? I'm like, yes.
Pretty much.
Sending that will? What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, exactly.
Oh my God. He's like, I'm bored. Like,
let me find the
God,
perfect moment to just make it obvious that I did everything and to get the money.
Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, a lot of good time, especially in the book version. Not necessarily the movie version is a totally different animal, which I think we'll get into
for sure. I already said it. Speaking of our first episode, I already said it in our first episode, but the sort of inner thoughts of a psycho thing reminded me a lot of The Killer Inside Me, Jim Thompson, one of my favorite books. So I'll just quickly say that, but I also thought of that. I'm going to screw up her name, but Julia Ducournau film Titan that came out a couple years ago. I mean,
I have one more rec after you. I forgot.
Sure, no problem.
Go ahead.
Very famous. you know what? Just talk in the middle. We'll say it at the same time.
Yeah. Stereo, I believe they call that.
Yeah, be like a Velvet Underground situation. Just a lady who just goes a little crazy. I mean, she does have sex with a car and have a car baby. That's one thing. But
I'm sorry, what?
and Titan.
Titan? You've seen the...
No? Okay.
It's like the third weirdest thing to happen in a French movie.
Like Crash style having sex with a
I
car?
meant 13th weirdest.
Counselor style? What kind of sex are we talking?
a little from column A, a little from column B. Kind of.
Have to see it to believe it.
Okay. I think I will.
But I mean, also she's antisocial, creating havoc, and then just takes on the identity of another person and passes for this dude's son, even though she is pregnant with a car baby.
You're really losing me with car baby. I'm very intrigued by this.
It doesn't sound like you're lost. It sounds like you're in.
Yeah, I know. I am in.
Yeah.
I am in. I'm lost that I haven't seen it before.
I can't believe it, honestly.
Do some introspection over there.
Let's not talk crazy.
Where were you in the year 2021
we're not
when
going
it came
into
out?
the basement,
As it were. Unlock the basement? Okay.
Oh, and also, I don't know how good of an adaptation it is, but the Wim Wenders film, The American Friend, is based on another Ripley book, and it's fucking great. You got Dennis Hopper, you got Bruno Ganz. Check that one out. All right, what were you going to say, Allan?
Oh, there was just this, because we're in Ripley's mind for most of the book, it reminded me also of this, I really don't even know how to describe this book. It's called TikTok by John Sladek, I think. He's like a 60s sci-fi writer. And it's basically American Psycho, but if he was a robot. Like it's set in Asimov's universe where this robot gets past the 3 rules and he becomes like an art serial killer, but we're in his head the whole time, and I don't know, it just popped in my head. Check it out. It's a great book.
That sounds great.
You said a real interesting thing in there, which was American Psycho, and God damn it, that's a very good comparison as well, I would say.
Also, yeah, pretty much.
Of course, yeah.
Slam.
Yeah. Dunk.
Nailed
Slam
it.
dunk.
Yeah. Nailed it. So rehearsed over here.
We're great. This is great. I'm not cutting anything. This is going to be the first episode where I make no edits.
No edits.
whatsoever.
Why would we?
Solid gold.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, let's talk about the topic of today, which is The Talented Mr. Ripley, the book, the movie. The book from 1955, the movie from 1999.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch Purple Noon. I literally jammed it in right before we arrived.
I wanted to want to.
You wanted to want to?
Yeah.
Was that in the
I
text
want
thread
you to
as
want
as
me.
a suggestion? Because I missed that one.
No, I can do a little capper at the end because there's a few notable things, but it's much easier to just compare the 99 movie and the book.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tyler, would you like to do your usual thing and take us through the plot of The Thing?
Yeah,
And
let's
we'll
get into it.
Yeah, we'll jump
Crack
in
it
or whatever.
open. Well, so okay, so starting with the book, we meet Ripley. He's believes he's being followed, perhaps by a policeman. And again, like you were saying, he's always like on the edge of getting caught and like, should he push it one step further? And so like in this moment, he's like, I could try to lose this guy, or I'll go get another gin and tonic.
Just see what he has to say.
Just see what, why not? I'll hear him out. And so he's approached by Herbert Greenleaf, not of the Greenleaf Shipping Company. They have some other name. But anyways, he's like, or a shipbuilder. And he's like, you kind of know my son, right? You know Dickie, that crazy guy who's awesome. And he's like, yeah, sort of know him. It's like, well, do you want to go to Italy and like try to bring him back to America for me? Because his mom is sick. Great offer. I'll pay your way.
Honestly,
first class.
one of the best offers you can get
who
from a
wouldn't
stranger.
Want that?
In a bar.
So good. Yeah, I mean, as far as strangers and bars offers go, it's pretty high. I feel like
top 3 easily.
So they bring him in, they like try to talk to him, he goes to their house, and then he's like completely in. So when we meet him, he's a bit of a scamp. He's a bit of a rapscallion who's like trying to, con people out of like fake IRS checks and
things. He's an opportunist,
He's, I think he's creating opportunities for himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that an opportunist.
He's creating the opportunities.
But I love that the scam is so not thought out. He's like, well, I can scam these people into paying me their owed taxes, in quotes, but like they're giving it to a name that I don't have an account for and cannot cash these checks.
And the moment I cash them,
he could do it,
it'd become very obvious that I did it and should be arrested. Yeah, he basically is just like, I've made some nice confetti for myself, these checks. But he like keeps trying. He's like, so we kind of see that there are the seeds, the inklings of him being kind of a bad person are there. But he decides, okay, I'm going to go to Italy. He falls in with Dickie Greenleaf immediately, and Marge. Oh, Marge. Oh, poor sweet Marge.
Mm-hmm. Justice for Marge.
Justice for Marge. So they kind of fall in. It takes a little while to like get Dickie to warm up to him, but then they become very close. He moves in, and actually like the clincher is like basically telling Dickie that his dad sent him there. He like really likes that as like, ooh, haha, now we're getting one on over.
It's like his last ditch effort to stay in. Just coming clean in a way.
And being like, look, your dad's so desperate. He sent me here, and then that they become friends and they like try to spend the money that his dad gave him. I don't know how you put like the relationship. They get very close very quickly. There's definitely like an undercurrent of like it being love, like infatuation with Dickie. Mm-hmm. And then Dickie's kind of like, we're kind of done.
Yeah, it was nice.
We had a good run, pal. Mm-hmm. And then basically around that same time, he's like, well, I should probably kill this guy and steal his identity. And become him. And that's what he does. He beats him over the head with an oar repeatedly. Yeah. And then sinks him to the bottom of a bay and then scuttles the boat. Then he's got a bunch of Dickie's money. And then the rest of the movie, or the rest of the book, is him just kind of trying to like escape, like get away clean. And again, every chance pushing it as close to the line as humanly possible. Yeah. And like he deals with Marge. Marge, who's a very different character. Like there's moments with like the push and pull of Marge and Dickie, and like Dickie wanting to spend more time with Marge because Marge wants more time with Dickie, and Tom clearly hates her.
And kind of vice versa in the book, at least.
Yeah, in the book, right? They both kind of have their issues with one another, and then
it's almost funny to me that she's. I mean, the full name I think is Marjorie Sherwood. Yeah, but it's so funny that they kept Marge in the movie because like Marge in the book, like when you hear the name Marge, you sort of are like Marge. Yeah. And that's definitely how Ripley feels about her is Marge. But like when she's played by Gwyneth Paltrow, it's like
it feels slightly out of place, but it's just like a 50s name, and you're like, I guess people in the 50s had this name. Even if they look like Gwyneth.
Is Dickie, bro. Like,
that's true.
Different time.
I mean, Dickie's pretty cool.
You know a lot of Dickies. You grew up with a lot of Dickies.
You don't know any Dickies?
I know the pants Dickies.
You're missing out. He's heir to the Dickies fortune.
I guess I was born wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and also there's like another friend from the past shows up pretty miles who like also disrupts things, and later Ripley has to kill him to continue to cover his tracks. It becomes like this. He's covering his tracks. He's killing people. He's like doing things. He's at a certain point, Dickie's under suspicion. But he's now Dickie, so then he has to like shapeshift back into Tom and, basically throw all the suspicion on him and then write a fake suicide note. And then they like only Marge finally gives in when she's like, well, if you have his rings, if he gave you his rings, then he must actually have killed himself. The family's willing to buy this excuse. Everybody buys this excuse. And then he sends a fake will being like, and actually, I want that young man, Tom Ripley, to get all my money.
Yeah.
And the family's like, you know what? We respect his wishes.
And he's like, seriously?
He really saw you as a brother. Yeah.
Guys, you were more than brothers even.
Yeah.
Ripley's the only one that can't believe it worked. worked.
Well, and there's a moment early in the book when he's like, things just kind of always worked out for me, so I'm going to keep operating under that assumption. Yeah. And he's never proven wrong.
Right.
Yeah. The ending is he's going to get off of like a steamer or something in Greece, and he's like, oh, there's probably police at the dock waiting for me, and there are, but he gets off and they don't want him, and he walks past, and so it's like he's kind of stuck with this like, I'm going to be hunted by police forever, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say he's haunted. I think because like at the end, he's like, "Oh, and I'm gonna get flowers for the old lady I saw on the boat." Like I think it's more. I think it's more a vibe of like, "Oh wow, I'm so good at this, I can get away with it."
Yeah.
That was definitely more the vibe I got at the end of the book.
I guess it's more paranoia than being haunted, but like the idea that of just like he will always be
how
followed.
he started. Yeah.
Right.
So
it's totally cyclical
he has not
in that
changed
way
at all,
which is very interesting. It's just like he has achieved something on a bigger scale than he had, but it is completely cyclical. Where he's like, I'm just always going to be chased, but it's kind of fun.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing about the book versus the movie is that the book is so just like him overanalyzing every interaction and being like, this is what's giving me away. This is what's giving me and him getting away with it. Yeah.
Far too dumb for you to be this worried. You're golden.
It's a classic rich people are dumb, take their money story.
Yeah. They're literally giving it away.
Yeah. So that's the book.
Yeah.
Does that sound right, Emily? You got anything in there?
Yeah. No, I think that sounds right from my recollection of having just read it. But
I think we all
and
just finished moments before.
Yeah,
starting.
you're like, it's so fresh.
It's very fresh. Yeah.
And I think like that big difference of like how Tom is in the book from the movie is like that you get to really see like the interiority of it all.
Yeah.
In the book, and also. I was thinking about that, the way that he plots to escape things. I can't believe it works ever. Like the way it shouldn't work at all. It shouldn't work at all. And I think there are some differences in the book and the movie in terms of like how that exactly plays out. But like even with the rings at the end or like needing to get away, it just doesn't, I can't believe it works.
Yeah.
There's no reason he should be so slippery.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest change from the book to the movie is definitely like they make him much less evil immediately, and they make everyone else much worse.
Yeah, it's more of an accident that he kills Dickie.
It seems way more like a crime of passion.
Yes, exactly. It's not premeditated in the way that it is in the book.
Yeah, he's planning it. He's like, I guess I'm going to do this right now.
I'll just take him out, and there's probably an anchor, and I'll tie that to him.
And I would say he does have like a fascination / obsession with Dickie, but I think in the book it's more pointed that he's like asexual. Like he doesn't seem to care about romance.
I think he seems queer in the book, but I think that
he definitely does.
Yeah,
but he does
but
make a point of being like, I don't care about any sort of relationship.
Right, it's not going to be like,
I'm giving them both up.
He has that recurring joke that he does.
Yeah. And they do drop that line at the beginning of the movie where he's like talking about how he regrets not. He's like, oh, I could have played it so different. If only I'd done it so differently. Like, just not been so come on so strong, because he just like fumbles the bag. Oh, this was the part that you left out that I find interesting, which is the moment where Dickie walks in on Tom trying on his clothes.
Yeah.
And that moment is like when it's too gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gets too gay.
And
like Dickie is like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of my clothes. Sorry, Skylight Books for swearing so much on the pod.
Who cares?
And
it's marked explicit, so they know what they're getting.
And so he's like, get out of my clothes. He's like, even my shoes. You're in my shoes. Which is like too far for him.
Yeah.
And that was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, he wants to be. It's like, it's kind of like maybe queer in the way of like he wants to be him.
Yeah.
And also
kiss
him a little bit.
It's just a little.
It's
just
interesting.
a little.
They kind of change the context of that in the movie too, because that happens in the book, and it's like it's a kind of a fight over Marge that he's like coming back from, and he sees, and then in the book it's like, oh, he was just with that guy Freddie Miles. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's throwing 110 miles an hour.
You peeping, Tommy? Tommy, are you peeping?
How's the peeping, Tom?
Tommy.
Dude, I rewatched that 3 times.
It's incredible.
It made me laugh every time.
He does is incredible. I cackled. I was cackling. Everything.
The little hand he had while he was walking around looking in the apartment right before he got murdered.
Yeah, he's just figuring it out. It's like, figure it out faster, man. You're about to be murdered.
Oh, buddy. But that was sort of, there was male jealousy there of this guy's a better friend or a closer to him as a, it was kind of interesting. Also just a great shot in that moment where he goes behind the mirror and it's his head just above the mirror and then you see Jude Law in the, there's a lot of good mirror reflection work in this movie.
Well, that's something too. Is in the book, there's definitely the aspect of Tom wants Dickie's station, he wants his power, he wants his privilege, he wants his money. But the movie is definitely that stuff's good, but I also just want him. I want his love, and that whole
he's much more tragic.
That whole line or little speech that Gwyneth Paltrow has, where she's when Dickie gives you his attention and love, it's like sunshine, but he's very fickle and he'll just turn it off and turn it on someone else. That's what happens with Freddie in that trip. Is suddenly Tom is no longer got the sunshine and Freddie's got the sunshine and. Yeah,
and he's driven to murder.
Yeah. Well, another great. Well, I think a very good change from the book to the movie is that in the book he's a painter. Dickie is a bad painter.
A bad painter,
and they're like, oh, he's so bad.
But in the movie, it's all jazz,
baby.
I
also
no more
like
art.
that
It's
change.
jazz. Yeah.
I have problems with some of the other ones, but the jazz one makes the most sense to me.
It really makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
especially in a movie setting, it added so much to it.
And it's also something that Ripley can now be a part of when he pulls them on stage and shit like that with that insane club.
When he,
incredible.
Him singing, Matt Damon singing "My Funny Valentine" was so just not what I expected out of my evening.
Yeah.
It was an uncanny moment because it's wait, that's not Chet Baker, but someone's impersonating Chet Baker, and it's oh, Matt Damon is impersonating Chet Baker.
Well, because guys, he's so good at impressions.
He
did a dead-on James Rebhorn impression.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think his James Rebhorn kind of sucks.
It wasn't great.
Tough.
It only works because he is also playing it up when we meet him as a character. So you're okay, sure.
Yeah. Sure.
James Rebhorn plays Dickie's dad, Herbert Greenleaf, in the film. You may know him from such movies as The Game,
Independence Day.
Usually a bad guy, no?
Seinfeld. Bunch of stuff.
Probably. He's got that bad guy face.
All-time character actor. A great that guy.
Also kind of a different version from the book. In the book, he's everyone's trustworthy. I just want my son back. In this one, he's just a titan of industry who's just Frank. When he's walking past people, it's okay, dude.
He also had a much smaller part in the movie.
True.
Where everything else from the book, I think they expanded out in the movie. They added so much more. Yeah. He just kind of was
I think they gave a lot of his stuff to Peter.
Yeah.
Not the romance stuff, but just the talking through things and complicating things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean also again in the book I think he represents acceptance of this world, and maybe the film is less interested in him being accepted in the world and more just being
because there's
his mimicry or
moments when he first writes him a letter in the book. He's I'm thinking of taking a job here, as almost to be a hint to him you can hire me to work a job. He's really doesn't really care how he gets in, and seemingly but that stuff's it's just not in the movie, which is fine.
Yeah, the movie just has totally different priorities.
Yeah. Well, they definitely blow out Marge in a big way. Because I feel the contempt for Marge in the book, both from Ripley, but also, I'm going to just say it, Patricia Highsmith. Patricia Highsmith does not like Marge.
A lot of Marges out there, man.
She does not like her at all.
A lot of Marges out there.
But I also wonder if that's something that in 1955 is supposed to tip you off oh, this guy doesn't like women. He's gay.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, he has absolutely no. I think that was absolutely the point, because he's so uninterested in her and
her bras
and her disgusting bras and the way that she likes the same guy as him. Come on. Oh my God. But
technically she was there first.
Technically she was there first.
Trying to protect her corner.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting, that in the movie it's completely flipped, where it's at first in the book she hates him and is like doesn't trust him, and then by the end weirdly likes him.
Yeah,
that part is like maybe the least believable.
I think the least believable part is when he assumes Dickie's identity when he gets to Italy, which is the whole reason why the whole ending is fucked for him.
Yeah.
It's like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the motivation there.
Right.
At
that,
all.
like, all this evidence is pointing to him, but him as Dickie. So they're like, oh, maybe Dickie killed Tom Ripley. So he's like, fuck, I got to stop being Dickie for a moment to be Tom Ripley to prove I'm alive.
Yeah, got to pop in and out.
Right.
I'm two guys. Also, just the way that he had his sense of how to impersonate people was so funny, because, like, in the book at least, he's like, all you really got to do is, like, have a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to present. It's not even about looking like them. It's just about kind of, like, smiling maybe a little bit like them.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, nothing that would actually, in the year 2024, work.
No.
And that
I don't
was,
think
like,
it would have worked
nothing
then
of
either.
this would never have worked in 2024, but yeah.
No, and that's the thing too, is like, I think that's why the film still has to be set in the 50s, because you'd just be like, yeah, there'd be so many pictures of like Dickie Greenleaf that they could compare to and be like, no. Right, yeah.
Oh, the shipbuilding scion who's on the cover of every like a tabloid and has like an entire Instagram fan account dedicated to him.
Right.
Yeah. Who's that guy? What's he look like? Yeah. Well, and then actually also in the movie, because so in the movie there's the Cate Blanchett plays Meredith. Thank you.
Which is an added storyline.
Yeah, completely new storyline that is kind of interesting. Like, she kind of reoccurs throughout as like also another different. She's in textiles, like another spoiled rich kid.
Yeah,
who he meets very early.
But a more relatable spoiled rich kid, because she hates having her money.
Oh, and she can only say that to other people who grew up and hate their money as well. Yeah. But yeah, that was like an interesting, again, an added like wrinkle, because that eventually comes back into the plot eventually.
Same with Peter, right? That's
different.
Yeah, that is also
it's pretty
but it's also interesting too, because like in that first interaction, he immediately, like even before getting to Italy, he's like, I am Dickie Greenleaf.
That's what I'm saying. If he hadn't done that, he would have been fully golden.
Right.
Like, I don't understand his motivations for that, because he only takes his identity when that like concierge calls him Dickie, and he's like, oh yeah, I can pass for him. Right. At least that's what the movie is essentially telling us. Yeah.
Well, because I mean, also in the movie, he starts out, he's just like a guy who's hustling around, like working a bunch of jobs, and he's a piano player. So he starts out much more innocent, and then I don't know, like gets a taste of like having someone carry his luggage, and he's like, I could get used to this real fast. But it's a weird, I don't know, like
it's a very weird choice. It's seemingly only there to complicate the ending.
I also don't know that I agree that he's innocent, because even though he's being sort of jocular and you know, lighthearted, like when he first meets Dickie in the film, he's like, what's your talents? He's like, oh, well, impersonating people, forging signatures, this and this and this. So he's clearly already a little bit.
He's doing a so-so hand gesture.
So-so.
So-so.
That's what that hand gesture is.
Oh, I thought it was you were punctuating with jazz hands.
Jazz hands. It is a jazzy movie.
Sideways jazz hands. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly different than the opening of the book, which is just like, this man is doing crimes and had done other crimes.
Yeah. And will continue to do crimes.
And it's time probably for him to leave town, where it's like, I was like, look at this man working a job.
Yeah.
He's earning money.
He's working
That's
a
so
lot
crazy.
of jobs.
He's much more sad, in the bathroom cleaning all those gentlemen's shoulders and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're just like throwing dollar bills at him. Fucking peasant.
But it's like that gives you more of the like, he's dying to get into this social sphere that he's never been able to touch.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe than in the book.
Yeah, the book, he just kind of, again, it just goes back to Good Time, where he's just going from situation to situation. He's just like, oh, here's a new thing I can probably just bang out, figure out.
Yeah, and it's not really about like opulence ever for him. Like,
no, not really.
Like,
I mean, there is a
in
little
the book,
bit.
Yeah, he's not like I want to have this like really beautiful thing necessarily.
I mean, he just wants.
Well, in the book, he's just a straight up sociopath.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Because we're in his mind and we're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Where in this one, he's like, I feel like I'm owed this, and I I have worked hard, and I think it should be mine.
Yeah, I was going to say the descriptions in the book of like leading into both of the killings is so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And just like, especially with Freddie Miles, it sounds like it's just like Freddie came back into the room. He grabbed a ashtray and bashed him in the head with it. Just like, that's it. No, like, ahem. No. Just like,
tell me.
walk in. Yeah.
I mean, this is what has to be done.
Yeah.
Right. Like he knows that's the one way to get out of this situation,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And then does the really crazy, I kind of love that part in the book because then he does like, he has to go super method and like drink a bunch and like smoke a bunch of cigarettes and be like, this place is going to be a total mess because I was here hanging out with Freddie all day. And then I'm going to go dump his body and I'll come back and I'll clean it up. But I need to see the space like this so I can lie about it.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
yeah,
way
it's
more
like-
methodical in the book.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, we were here smoking cigarettes and drinking all day, and this is what it would have looked like. So
Yeah.
And he did a very similar thing on the boat too,
Yeah.
with like figuring out how to like. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, he fell in like, and he always creates the narrative of what happened.
Yeah.
to
He's
him.
a storyteller, man.
He really is, and even towards the end when he kind of looks like he was thinking about killing Marge. And in the book, which doesn't happen, but he's like, oh, she just fell down the stairs. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so slippery. My house in Venice. Like, it's just like these slippery stairs. And she was gone forever. But then she doesn't die. So, which is shocking in all cases.
yeah,
Especially
honestly.
in the movie.
It's definitely.
I mean, well, he
leading-
stopped in the movie.
Yeah, he is stopped. It's definitely
Yeah.
wants you to think she's about to get stabbed real good, but no.
Yeah.
And she certainly thinks that as well. She's backing up into the
Yeah,
door,
she's
afraid
terrified
for
of
her
him.
life. His
Right.
hand is bleeding through the road.
Yeah. He's like, there might be a razor in there. I might be getting a second smile right underneath the other one. Yeah.
Right. So that's like that major difference again with like the shift in Marge from like book to movie, where like in the book by the end, she's like, oh my God, of course. Oh, this is a big plot point. Is that like in the book, everyone is like, Tom convinces everyone that Dickie has basically committed suicide and like maybe committed these murders, but maybe feels bad about killing Freddie, whatever. And then everyone is convinced that he's committed suicide, including Marge. In the movie, she's like, no fucking way.
No fucking
No
way, dude.
fucking way. And so like he's
We were
still
going to
left
get married, you dumbass.
yeah, like we were gonna get married.
Yeah.
He would never, and it's the exact same thing. He would never take off his rings.
Yeah.
Right.
You took them, which is more believable.
It's pretty believable.
As opposed to being
Yeah.
like he would never take off his rings. He must have killed himself. Like,
Well, that's I think like she's smarter in the movie.
She's
Yeah.
way smarter than the
There's the added angle of like, oh, it's the 50s, so every man around her just like she's hysterical.
Yeah.
she's kooky,
Well,
crazy.
the dad says something like, there's women intuition and then there's facts. It's like, holy shit, dude.
They're really laying that on there.
God
and
damn.
to build on what you said about Highsmith, she does paint her as like, I don't know, for lack of a better, like, non-misogynist way, it does paint her as like a dumb cow. Like
gone with dummy. I don't think I say
Yeah,
dumb cow.
cow.
Jesus.
yeah, no. I really wanted to just
Bit of a dum-dum,
give
sure.
her-
give her that little.
yeah,
She doesn't know any better. She's writing a book, living her life in Italy,
Yeah.
you know?
chewing her cud.
Living the dream.
Chewing her cud in the field.
Well, yeah, and that is also a point in the book is that like Dickie and her actually don't have like a romantic relationship, but in the movie they're like, and they do get engaged. They are again. Tom peeps on them on the
Yeah.
boat.
They're not their boots on the
And
boat.
is the Savannah stuff in the book too?
No.
I don't
No.
remember that either.
So the whole thing with like him,
It's really just making
Him-
Jude Law look bad. And
It's
come
him
on,
again.
man.
He's a
He's
bad-
just spreading the love, dude.
yeah.
I mean, when you were
He's
Jude
spreading the
Law
sunshine.
and you look
Jude
like that,
Law.
I mean,
Come
it'd be a
on.
crime to keep that bottled up.
It's- that's what I'm saying.
1999 Jude Law,
Come on,
but
dude.
excellent.
He's
Yeah.
about to do
So
Gattaca,
excellent.
the same
Well,
thing.
yeah, that's the other moment. Is the bath scene
The bath scene.
pre or post him trying clothes on? Because if you're mad about trying clothes,
I think
you're
it's
playing
pre.
Is it pre?
It's
It's
pre.
pre.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to remember
Because
because
that's when it starts going weird.
it starts
Yeah.
to get a little
He's like,
I
come
didn't
on, let
mean
me.
with you
So-
in it.
Yeah. They're playing.
After pausing for 30
Yeah.
seconds.
He was grasping at that straw. He
Yeah.
was like, I gotta climb to the ceiling to get that one
Yeah.
because it's gonna be a minute.
Jude Law's just in the bath playing chess.
As you do.
And Tom is just sitting outside the bath.
Yeah, how did we
playing
get?
chess.
I want to see the scene before
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna bathe. You want to play a game of
You
chess?
want to play a
Yeah,
game
all right.
of chess while
Sure
I
thing,
bathe?
Dickie.
But only if I can get in after a little while.
Yeah.
It's cold.
And he's like, what? Gay? What? What?
Well, that is an interesting thing because I did a little movie research, and it's like, obviously this had been a thing in the 90s and even earlier because people were aware of this with like Basic Instinct, the idea of like the homicidal homosexual, and like
that's what I was really worried about since it's so much more pronounced in the movie. I was
so
like,
much
are they
more
going to
pronounced.
make it like
where like he like cuddles
cake,
with Dickie after he kills him, like he's like in his arms and he like tries to sleep on his shoulder on the train and stuff. Like there's some interesting.
I think it's totally different. Ripley.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely
all
is.
the way through. He's so much. He's just a sad boy.
He's a very
sad boy, a sad, talented boy.
Yeah,
so many talents,
so many different.
Or what
talents.
does the credit do? Is like talented, mysterious, all those things.
Oh my
that
God.
was so good.
It was a pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty
like,
fun.
whoa. Yeah, it's just like flashing all the adjectives. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I don't know. But so that was interesting. Like the director, Anthony Minghella, was like, look, we can tell any kind of story about a gay person. This one just happens to be a murderer.
Yeah.
Which is like fine. I mean, I think that's okay. But they definitely accentuate it. They make it much more about like the emotional connection he feels to Dickie as opposed to, again, like this guy's associate with which is like a movie choice, right? To be like, we want to sympathize with this guy at the beginning, so then like you go along with him to the end, as opposed to
from the get-go.
In a book, like I feel like you have so much more runway, especially if you're like in a guy's head and you're like, ooh, this is I'm getting a peek at this guy.
And even in the moment when he's in his clothes in the mirror, like he's playing a show tune, he's kind of prancing around, but it's in a way that doesn't feel like it's like, look how queer he is. It feels like, look how comfortable in his skin he feels.
Yeah.
And then Dickie comes in and is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
In my clothes, prancing around to his show tune, or Gilbert and Sullivan or whatever. Yeah, like.
Whereas in the book, he's pretending to be Dickie.
He's having a full-on conversation.
Yeah, he's having a full-on conversation, and he's murdering Marge.
Yes.
So if you need to know
much more understandable his rage.
Where these psyches are very different between the movie and the book, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I liked about the book, is that you don't really have someone that's just like, I'm just a bad piece of shit in the very beginning, and you're with them as the protagonist. Whereas like the movie goes its own way, and like eventually I was like, okay, I'm with this. But at first I was like, oh man, they're making him like it's the Joker all over again. They're making him sad. Like I don't want to feel sad about him. I want to feel that he's clever and he's just getting away with it. And isn't that crazy?
I mean, there's still plenty of moments, I think, in the movie that I felt the same feeling of being like, Tom, no.
Yeah.
Tom, you can't be
You can't
doing that. Like, Tom, it makes me so uncomfortable. Please don't. Like, please don't. And I'm like, my skin is crawling.
Yeah.
I'm so upset with you. And yeah, so I still think there's plenty of that
I think
feeling
right.
that I get, but it's for different reasons.
Well, that whole opera scene where he's pretending to be Dickie. So one of the things the movie does too is just like give him a little more playtime as Dickie.
Yeah.
So there's that scene where he takes Meredith, Cate Blanchett, to the opera as Dickie, but then Peter and
Marge.
Peter and Marge are there, and so then he has to like do
Justin
the switch,
hates
take
Marge.
off.
Justin absolutely hates Marge.
Were you trying to not say dumb cow again?
that dumb cow.
Oh God, what's her
What's
name?
that dumb cow's name?
Cow. I fucking
That goop selling. So he's like taking off Dickie's rings and swapping it for his glasses and like doing a bit of a Mrs. Doubtfire moment.
I truly wanted that so bad at the cafe the next morning. I wanted him to be like, "Oh, what about this table? Glasses on," and then like, it would have been incredible.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I was also looking forward to
It
that.
would have been so good.
I was a little bummed.
Yeah, just like, oh, Cate Blanchett, sit in the back and it's inside, and they'll sit on the porch, and then we'll just
Yeah.
it would have been so good. Anyways, instead, it's a different bombshell goes off.
Yeah.
Wait,
would
sorry,
do
you were
this
saying
on
about the
purpose,
opera,
though.
Justin. Sorry, do you want to finish your point? I guess just that he's swapping back and forth.
I genuinely lost it. I lost the point because
Well, it's a lot of swapping.
He was doing his Dickie at the at the opera.
Bellissimo, as they say.
We don't sell merch, but if we did, that'd be the first shirt.
Dickie
I mean, I think we
sticky.
should know. Yeah, at the opera.
yeah. I don't know if this was my point, but talking about it does make me think, like, what do you think about the added stuff like that? Like, that feels very movie to me, but it doesn't necessarily feel like this story to me. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
It has him like kind of like channeling his emotions a bit more when he's like crying in the opera scene,
Yeah.
which I was like, not my Ripley. My Ripley's a
he
cold-hearted
cries
bastard.
in the steamer. Remember when he gets in the bed finally alone and he like sobs?
But that's because, I guess so.
He does
But
cry.
this was like he was moved by art.
Yes. This was,
he like saw
He, like-
art reflected life for
Yeah,
him
and
a
like
little bit.
yeah,
And he's
but
like, I did that. Oh my God.
It was
he's
so
like,
crazy.
"That's so wild."
Wow, he bled almost as much as that giant red curtain that
Yeah.
came down.
Beautiful
that red curtain was
Kinda
cool.
ruled. It
Yeah,
was
kind of
really
ruled.
I was like,
yeah.
do I like the opera?
The opera is kind of cool.
That's what I thought. I was like, man, I should really get the opera.
I didn't know they were killing
Yeah,
fools.
like this is cool. I think to your question, Justin, I liked a lot of the things that they added into the movie, but also I think it had so much to do with like the star-studded cast and
Yeah.
like
I could use
this-
more Jude Law, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that era of Jude Law, and I was like,
He's just cooking the
he's
whole
doing
movie.
so good. And like I was reading about him getting cast in the movie, and that was like his breakout role. And they were like kind of shaping this whole cast, picking him, and his agent was like, no way, don't do this movie, like don't do it, you're gonna die on page 75.
Yeah.
And then I think he really was like, no, let me cook, I got this.
Yeah, I got
and it's
this.
like, and I think
They're
that like
gonna
the
add
way
more
that like
scenes of me.
yeah, that like Dickie, he like took Dickie to a whole different place that
Yeah.
I thought Dickie was pretty flat in the book.
Yeah, I didn't really like his character at all. in
And
the
I
book,
think
yeah.
if like he had been a little bit more like, it's Jude Law as like playboy, international rich guy, like living it up in Italy. He loves jazz. He just wants to play a saxophone and he wants to fuck off. And it's like not the same Dickie at all.
Yeah.
But I just love Jude Law.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like me just being like,
we all
and
do.
so anyways, Jude Law was hot, and I thought that was pretty cool about the movie.
And in the same way, like as we were talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman, like
and-
he adds so much to what is
Could
just
use
like
more of him too.
Yeah.
what is just like a plot mechanic in the book.
Yeah,
but like,
Freddy's no one in the book.
Yeah.
and he is so much fun to love and love to hate and hate
Because
to
he's
love.
smirking
and,
in every fucking scene he's in.
man.
And he hates Tom from minute one.
Minute one, he's like this.
He calls him Tommy like immediately.
God.
And you know he hates it.
Oh man.
He's just that line where he's just like that and that corduroy jacket. He's just like making fun of the corduroy
In the
jacket.
summer.
There's something about the way he speaks is like, what a job you have. Like
Yeah.
everything just like
Oh, yeah. He's
comes
like,
out and then goes back into his
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah.
And you're like, how does he do that? It's
Yeah.
so mean.
He's just like describing what he's doing and debasing him and be like, oh, if you ever retire, I'll take that from you. I would gladly take it.
bored, Tom.
Yeah, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman doing that rich guy voice and
Just chomping.
man,
Just
rest
chomping
in
every scene he's in.
peace, my
Yeah,
guy.
the best.
Oh,
R.I.P..
the best.
I would just say an important lesson for Jude Law's or anyone's agent who was like, don't do this. I mean, if your client is the most charming man on the planet, just let him be the most charming man on the planet for 70 pages. It's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people will notice, and it was awesome. It's
I think
incredible.
you got a nod for that.
He did. He's I
I'll
was
be
nice.
like, "Where's Poochie?" Like
I-
whenever Poochie's not there, you're like, "Where's Poochie?"
Exactly. You want him leaving. I'm honestly, it was great to leave him a little more. I want him leaving a little more, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. He was very like in the book. I think there is like this pretense that he wants to be like taken seriously as a painter and a creative, and it's like, no, he's really and he feels like he owes it to Marge, like platonically, to be there for her. There's like a lot more, which is like all kind of fine, but it's like kind of treaded. Like I don't know how.
Yeah,
it does it.
he's like his father in the book. He's a little more wholesome.
Yeah, just like kind of a nice
Because he's like, he knows
guy.
Marge loves him and he doesn't really care, but he's like, I should still lead her on.
Right, exactly.
I think that's the best
That's
move.
really the only
Nice.
answer.
She really likes having this
She
unrequited
likes being
crush,
led on, I
so,
think,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I should keep doing it. But then he just he's like international playboy charmer, and it's amazing. Yeah,
Just like jazz, man.
just
Flows.
loves jazz.
And then even in the movie, he's like, time for me to like blow. I got to get out of Mongi, and like I gotta go, and it has to head up north, and like that in the book is something that Tom fakes and feels so unbelievable.
Right.
So there's ways in which like the movie lends itself to like some of Tom's lies being more believable. and then also falters on like the back end of trying to like
because he
remedy
also
that.
uses phrases that people said like almost immediately after they said them, like in the opera, like he's like doing the tattoo line or whatever.
Yeah, he's like picking it up, and
so he just takes lines from people and then just like throws it back at other people.
Well,
and
that's
they immediately
as
believe
Philip
it.
Seymour Hoffman says, you're a quick study.
Yes,
You didn't know your ass from your elbow. That's rude. You probably didn't know your ass from your elbow. He's so good.
Speaking of another just killer character actor, Philip Baker Hall,
Oh, yeah.
one scene performance as the American private detective,
Yeah.
which is also a nice.
They did the reverse from the book in this
Yeah, well, that's the
version.
thing. So, like in the book, he's just another person that Tom dupes, and the detective's just like, "I'm so tired from traveling," and like, "Okay, I'll look into this," and like, we'll do an acceptable job and not find out that Tom is the guy.
Yeah.
But like in this, he's literally like, I am, Mr. Greenleaf's enforcer, and this is the official story, and
Yeah.
you're gonna play along with it, and it's
And by the way, it's all to your benefit.
Yeah.
right.
He's like,
Yeah.
I found these plates that you planted, but I don't know that you planted them. And
Yeah.
it does indicate, Dickie, he was a wild card. And like,
Did you know he beat a kid half to death at Princeton? That's why his dad sent him to Europe to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
It's a pattern.
No, but that's very good for me.
It's a
it's like,
pattern,
we love
Tommy.
that. Yeah.
Phil Baker Hall is amazing because like one of his first lines
Could
is,
use more him too, man.
I don't like bullshit. I don't like hearing it. And I don't like
yeah,
saying it.
because he's talking about looking off and seeing your apartment. Isn't it like a
Feels like a
dream?
dream.
Yeah.
And
And
I
he's
don't
like,
like
what the
bullshit.
fuck ever, dude?
I don't like hearing it, and I don't like saying it.
So here, take this money and get the fuck out of
But
here.
that, but that also almost seems like a rejoinder to the scene in the book, because he's literally like, I gotta say something here that like seems normal-ish, and then it's funny to think that like in the movie he's like, oh, I think I can see my apartment from here.
Yeah.
And yeah, Philip Baker Hall is just like, fuck that.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
The big change is obviously like where we end, which is that in the movie, it's he and Peter begin a relationship. I mean, I think we can say,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And he's
So mysterious, Tommy.
Yeah, so Tommy.
Yeah.
He's so British.
God, that ending was so fucking heartbreaking.
It
So
God
really
damn it.
is.
Oh my God.
I was like, son of a bitch, dude.
But I also
It's-
don't quite understand why he does it.
He does it because he's gonna be found out.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can't kill Meredith because she's
It's because of his
family.
goof of
People
assuming
there.
Dickie's identity for no reason.
From the beginning.
It's the reason
Yeah.
he has to kill Peter.
But
I'm
does
like, what
Peter
the fuck?
actually clean that mess up? Does it?
Like,
Because Peter's the only one on the boat who knows him as Tom Ripley.
I guess. Okay.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I
he
guess that
also
makes
knows
sense.
Meredith.
Right. Yeah. And right again, her family's all there.
And her
There's too many
family.
people she can't.
And
It
then
all
he
comes
kill
back
her,
to
yeah.
that fucking. I'm telling you, just
Yeah,
him
I mean, no,
assuming that
that's
identity.
it.
It's like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
Why did
Yeah.
you
One
do
mistake and then
You don't even know Dickie yet. Why are you assuming his
just
personality?
for a little fun.
Crazy.
Also, there's like apparently only 5 Americans in Italy, and they all know each other,
Well,
and
yes.
like it's just like
Yeah.
they all go to the same places all the time.
Yeah.
Which I kind of get.
I
I
kind
know
of
I'm
also
sure
get
that
it
it's
a
like
little bit.
absolutely
when
true,
you're
but
in
it's
that
like
strata of rich person, you're like, yeah, we just always run in the same circles. I'm going to the
Yeah.
same ski trip, and I'm going to this opera, and
Yeah.
which I did like. I was going to say that about him living in it. It's like, yeah, like they do a good job of like building that world of like, oh, all these rich people know each other, and it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is also. I mean, you think Rome's a big town.
yeah, Rome's like
Pretty big.
Let's keep
And
bumping
that's,
into
I mean,
these
he
people.
does. He's like, "How did you find me here?" And it's like, because it's easy to find the American somewhere. Yeah, it just seems easy to just ask around. Apparently, to be like, "Where's that American guy at?" But yeah, that ending speech that Peter makes, where
Tell me good things about Tom Ripley.
yeah, he's like, "Oh my God," and then he's like, "Tom Ripley is kind. Tom Ripley is talented.
Yeah.
Tom Ripley is choking me."
Yeah.
He's like.
And he's like, "You're crushing me, Tommy.
You're crushing me.
You're crushing me, Tommy.
Yeah.
You're crushing me, Tommy." And I was like, "Oh,
I was like, oh my God.
fuck.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I guess I can have my cake and eat it too." Like the movie feels like
Right.
he has to be punished in some way, whereas the book is like,
No,
he should be punished, but fuck it, he got away with
Hey,
it.
it's a
Sorry,
dark world.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I got 5 more books to write with
No,
this
no,
guy.
no.
He's getting away with it.
Yeah, no, Highsmith is definitely like, hey, crooks get away with it, and the movie's like, he can get away with it, but he has to sacrifice any chance at like real happiness.
Yes. He's just like, I guess I'll never leave the basement. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh man. But I mean, in some ways it makes like the movie, it feels so much more like real life because it's like so much fuller, has so many of these other factors that like in Highsmith's writing, she can just make like a stripped down version that's believable, where there's like not all of these things that could happen or like all these factors or whatever, people running up on him. It's just always convenient.
Yeah.
But it's like, in this, there's like hustle and bustle and jazz.
There's so much jazz.
So much
Snapping,
jazz.
baby.
Yeah, you have a greater sense of like the world closing in, where like you're so in Tom's mind in the book that it's just basically him wrestling with like, will this event go to my advantage? Oh, good, it did.
On to the next crime.
Yeah. I assume it's on the DVD, but I was on the Criterion Channel with the Purple Noon. There's like a 20-minute interview with Patricia Highsmith, which is excellent. If you got Criterion Channel, you should definitely check it out. But one of the things that I remember that's funny is she says something to the effect of like, my books feel old-fashioned because people now think that crooks just get away with it, and in mine they have to be like culpable and guilty or something like that. And in my head I'm like, but Tom Ripley, like, he gets away with it, and I don't know if he does feel guilty. Like,
he feels fine with it.
Yeah.
Well, he goes to Greece.
Yeah.
He's chilling.
Well, I do love that also everyone's kind of like Patricia Highsmith, Tom Ripley, kind of her alter ego. Like,
in this 20 the interview is from like 71, I think. So right after the second Ripley book came out. And yeah, I definitely like the way she describes her life. It's like, oh, you are Tom Ripley, and I'm sure these are the thoughts in your head, and you're just like, let me put a few other names in here. And, like,
described as like a famous misanthrope who like met James Baldwin at a party and described him as like a witty pain in the ass or something. Like she just did not like people, you know. So you could see how she could get to a Tom Ripley headspace pretty easily, I feel like.
She even So I think at this point there were 3 movie adaptations of her books, and she like straight up ranks them. She's like Hitchcock is the best. This other one, I forget what it was. It was a French one. Is the worst. Purple Noon's in the middle. Like.
Well, and it's interesting because like I think her whole inspiration for writing it is like she doesn't like America. She's certainly underappreciated America, which explains why there are 2 French adaptations before we came back around to doing it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But and that she was like the only way to tell the story of America is like from the point of view of an American in Europe and like how it's different, like and like she read the Tocqueville book to be like, how does an outsider see America, and like really just had a lot of bad feelings about it and was like, well, I'll put this guy in Europe and let him run amok, and that's like my portrait of an American, which fair, not wrong, it's kind of right, yeah.
That's what all Americans do when they go to Europe.
Just run amok.
Run amok, murdering.
Start murdering. Where's the water? All these things that people are asking.
I mean, he can get away with it, yeah. Oh, yeah, he also doesn't have his, like, crippling fear of, like, the water.
Yeah. There's not much, we don't really get any backstory in the way in the book. It's like, oh, he has this aunt who he doesn't like, and he's
like hated him from minute one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that fear in the French movie. I guess I can talk just a little bit about Purple Noon. It's structured way different from the Minghella movie. The Minghella movie, even though it adds stuff, at least seems to approximate the shape of the book, and definitely. René Clément, I think, is the writer-director of the French movie of Purple Noon, which also is gibberish. And I believe the title, if you translated it properly, would be just like Broad Daylight, because the murder takes place in broad daylight.
Yeah, I think that's in the tagline, too, which I remember reading. It's like...
Oh, really?
It's like something murder at noon or something. I don't know. It's like an interesting tagline, but it makes sense if it's broad daylight is the actual translation.
Yeah. And it's basically like Clément, in a sort of like pseudo Hitchcock way, is like, what are the segments I can make a meal out of? And one is being on the boat leading up to the murder, which in Purple Noon, like Dickie knows he wants to kill him. And they talk about it for 10 minutes. And he's like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to da-da-da-da? And then he just catches him off guard and stabs him in the chest and does not cuddle him.
Yeah.
Another is the killing of Freddie Miles and disposing of the body, which is pretty fast in the Minghella movie, but like literally he takes his time with like sitting around with the corpse all day and then like dragging it down the stairs and then pretending to be buddies with him and then like it also
because in the book he does it in the middle of the day, so he has to like wait it out.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Yeah.
He pours all the gin in his mouth, and he's like,
He light these cigarettes.
You might as well have a party.
yeah.
Let me take mental photos of this so I can talk about it later.
And then I guess the biggest difference is that at the end of Purple Noon, he does not get away with it because
the French believe in justice, you know.
they do. But in a very like something that doesn't make total sense is like Tom Ripley disposes of the body while on a boat in motion and just kind of like slowly casts it off on a rope. And it turns out at the end that like the line snagged on the boat. And when they pull the boat out of the water, there's a corpse attached to it and he gets caught. And it just feels like you got him.
Yep.
But doesn't thematically feel like anything. So.
Yeah, they're just trying to wrap that bad boy up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say, like, Alan Delon is fucking awesome and maybe is, like, the perfect Ripley.
Well, I gotta wait for that new series, man. It's our boy Scott, right?
Don't you think he's like a little old?
I thought the same thing. I watched the trailer this morning.
I
and
mean,
I was like,
and I love that.
But I think he's going to be
Great.
more conniving, which
Yeah, he's gonna
well,
be
he does
so
seem to be
good.
much more like a sociopath.
Yeah. He's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like a little old on the casting, but you know. Who cares?
Well, you know.
What's age?
Well, also,
What's
like,
age?
Well, also, like, are they going to do a thing where, like, it moves on to the other books? Because Ripley
Right.
does
Maybe
definitely
he's old.
age, so.
yeah, that
Yeah.
seems like that's the
possible.
implication of
Nice.
it just being Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of a young Sheldon, but an old Ripley.
Oh my God!
welcome.
Please tell me you didn't write
Let me
that
take
down
your hand.
before.
Let me take your hand, Alan.
Please tell me you
let's
just
enjoy
came
this
up with
moment
that
together.
right now.
Let's just
Please
enjoy.
tell me you did not write this joke down.
Oh, buddy. No, of course not.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
God. Oh, thank God.
We've been working saving on that one.
Well,
like, how am I going to integrate it?
I could
the
see
whole
Tyler
time.
doing that.
The whole time. Well, I mean, my stock joke is that now that Young Sheldon's ending, I can finally pitch my version, which is Deathbed Sheldon. But
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
it's just all from his deathbed.
Sure.
You know a joke is
Flashback
good.
Episodes.
When everyone goes, "Oh boy,"
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you know a joke is good when no one laughs and everyone just says, oh, boy.
oh boy,
Yeah.
yeah. I know my audience.
Cool. Final notes.
Ooh, so I did. I wrote some things down. Should I? Okay, so the costumes look amazing in this movie. Like everyone's dressed beautifully, and it's Anne Roth, who's she's nominated for an Oscar for it. And you might also know her if you saw a little film called Barbie. She's the woman, the old woman sitting at the bus stop, who's like, "I know I'm beautiful."
Oh,
That's her.
wow.
Yeah, really
Very
Spoilers.
cool.
Still didn't see
great
Barbie.
career.
Still,
Well,
okay.
Spoilers.
sorry, you're the
dude.
one. Okay,
I know. I meant to.
Also, I
wanted
think
to
they
want
just
to.
use that clip to, like, promote the film as well. So.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really
Didn't see a
can't-
single movie
I
last
don't watch
year.
ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually did not see a lot of movies last year.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Sorry. Continue.
it's a shame. Okay.
Pope's Exorcist 3 times, though?
Well, yeah.
If only I wish. Great time. Him on that Vespa.
Another
come on,
great
dude.
Rome movie. Another movie that captures Italy perfectly.
It's mostly a Spain movie, but a little Rome.
Oh,
sure.
that's right. He takes his Vespa to Spain. I forgot.
In like
course.
40 minutes.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, this movie also looks incredible. It's like so much of Italy looks amazing.
I
don't
know. I really wanted to go to Italy after
Right?
this
I'm
movie.
like,
I was like,
it's
oh,
fucking amazing.
seems great.
It's also, and I don't know if everyone else feels this way, but like anytime now I watch a movie from the 90s, I feel like I'm grading it on the curve of what all new movies look like, which is that they were like shot on like in a parking lot with a blue screen hastily put up behind it.
Yeah.
And watching this movie, I'm like, I mean, it was up for Oscars. It was like pretty decently well critically received, but I'm like, is this the best movie ever?
Yeah.
Is this the most beautiful thing ever put on film? And
They were
maybe
shooting
that's-
on film still. You know?
I mean,
that goes
it
a
looks
long way.
amazing. So I was just want to say that. Also, Minghella had a great quote about what it is to like adapt something, and specifically this movie was, "You've drunk the drink, and the taste that's left in your mouth is what you go with." Just like, that's kind of an interesting metaphor.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. That's all I had. Those are the things I want to throw out there.
Nice.
Well said.
Thank you.
All right.
Anthony Minghella, not me.
Yeah, obviously.
First round, did we like the book? Emily?
Yeah, I like the book. Do you want to say more than that? No.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
man.
Yes, I like the book.
Tyler?
Yes, I like the book.
Allan.
Yeah, I like the book quite a bit.
Yeah. I concur. I really like the book. I will say a little more. Just the quality of the writing is so good that even when, because it takes a while till we get to some murder, that it really grabs you and pulls you through. And considering I had to jam this book in to like 36 hours.
I will also say that I started reading it and then it became crunch hour, and I thankfully found some brave soul that put the audiobook up on YouTube, and the guy who narrates it is excellent.
Oh man,
he's great.
He's really good.
It's just Jude Law.
Really,
Matt
man,
Damon.
I wish.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just reading the whole thing.
This Dickey guy seems cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think like the book, it just takes you right in there, and I think that like being able to start off on page 1 knowing he's like suspicious, does crimes, does all this stuff, it just takes you on a ride the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it gave me that terrible great feeling so often of like being like, I want to stop reading this because I hate you.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, Tom, why do you do this? But it's great. Yeah.
I loved in the writing, I feel like she did this a ton, where it would be like, Tom noticed, Tom saw. Like, it's just like these little tiny, they're like, she will start a sentence or end a sentence with like, it almost feels like punctuation at a certain point, but it's just this idea that like Tom is always like watching. Tom is like putting all this information into his head to be like, how do I?
Well, because it's always useful.
Right. He's just like, everything he does like ends up paying out like a fucking slot machine, but it's like he keeps like, it's well put in there to a point where it's like almost you can miss it. But it's like, this guy's watching everything. This guy's learning. This guy's improving. And it's just like, oh, Tom noticed. And it's like, oh, why did he notice that Dickie signs his with a big D? It's like, well, because that's how he signs his name.
He's going to be doing that later.
Yeah, he's going to, and then it's going to, I got to start forging. So anyway, I really like that in the writing. I thought that was a nice thing.
We're unanimous. All right. Did we like the movie, Emily?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, that movie's real good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Loved it. Love the movie. Love the movie, Tommy. Tommy, I loved it.
You got to peep that movie, Tommy. You peeping, Tommy?
Enjoy the peeping, Tommy.
His little hand gesture when he parks the fucking car, like to announce himself, as if he's playing a trumpet to heaven that he has like arrived. He just does this. It's amazing.
He like flies out of that car. Like he pulls up to the
and everyone's like,
cafe,
who the fuck is this
flies
guy?
out.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, some of his best physical acting besides Along Came Polly, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Nice. All right, here comes the nitty gritty. Between the two, which is better, book or movie? Emily.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll go with what I went feeling going into this conversation, though it might be different now. I think the movie is better.
Oh, man. Allan, you say something. I have to recalibrate.
You haven't decided yet?
No, I still haven't decided. It's really tough.
Well, actually, I do want to dig in a little bit. Like, what gives it the edge?
I think for me, it's like what I was talking about, where it's like it is this fuller world of it. I think I love that like Highsmith has this like really precise way of doing things, but like giving just like this whole room of play in the movie really was great. And it's also just like the acting is so fantastic, adding all that depth to it. Though now Allan has convinced me of some things, but we can circle back to that. So yeah.
Man,
I mean, I can go if you're still.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I like the book more. There's just some. I mean, I really like the movie, but there's just something about a bad guy who is bad and continues to be bad, ends up bad, and still prevails. That it's just so. I rarely see that. Like, especially, I don't know. It's just something you don't see very often. So I find that kind of character more fascinating than a person who's justifiably like closeted and bummed and wants the best out of life, but he's only good at crime, so that's his way to achieve it. Like, I like that story too, but I just love the piece of shit being a piece of shit and being like himself being like, I can't believe I'm getting away with this. Wow, I'm gonna on to more crimes. Like I kind of I love that concept in the book so much. So it gives it the edge to me. I like the book a lot more.
So we're tied up so far.
Yeah.
This is so difficult because I'm literally between the two of you, and I am so torn between both of your arguments. This is exactly what I've been weighing. It's like it seesaws after each one of you speaks.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Like I enjoy the being inside the psychology of a person who's just like, I'm bad. I'm gonna do some fucked up stuff. Hopefully it all works out. It usually does.
Yeah.
But the book does not have Philip Seymour Hoffman in it.
I know. I know.
Or Jude Law, to be honest.
They bring a lot.
Or young Maddie D. There's just so
bring a
much.
lot.
Like the act. It is like 5 powerhouse fucking actors going for, and everyone's really so. It's like a 51-49. I'll say the movie, but like you could talk to me in like 20 minutes and I'll be like, it's probably the book. I don't know.
Nice. So far we got 2 movie, 1 book. I think.
Do the right thing, Justin.
I think this is going to end up being another Cabal situation. I think I'm going to end up going book, though I did love both movies. And I think, as you said, like the 99 movie has such great performances. The actors are so stinking good. And actually, I just remembered, I wanted to comment that for whatever reason in that era, and especially the way he's physically behaving, Matt Damon reminds me of my best friend from high school.
Oh, you knew a Ripley in high school? Oh, no.
Good guy.
I mean, no, I knew a guy who liked to dance around in front of the mirror and throw scarves around his neck.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine.
That's great.
And who knows? Maybe killed someone on a boat. I don't know.
Who knows what happened in San Remos? We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't see him after he took that semester abroad in Italy, so I mean, who's to say?
Who's to say?
And alternatively, I mean, as I said, Alain Delon is awesome, but the French movie also just those sequences I talked about, that like cinema is so like that good cinema stuff. But I still feel like the sensation I got from reading Highsmith's writing puts me a little, like you said, 51-49, but I'm going 51-49 toward book.
Yeah.
And so we once again have a tie, 2 book, 2 movie. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also conflicting in that the movie is very good, but it's just not that's not how I saw the adaptation going. It's different enough for it to be on its own thing for me.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
If you're going from the source material, this is different enough to me.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's like, I actually don't, they like soften him to a point where it's almost, it's such a different story. It's not like this guy who's like, he's the ultimate con man, or like he becomes the ultimate con. It's very softened, and it's like a much more emotional story, which is fine. I was also just waiting for you to finish so I could say the opposite of what you said, Allan. So. And that was, you really sold me there.
Classic Tyler.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It is. Yeah. It's a very different adaptation, but like it still just fires on so many cylinders that it like works as its own thing. But it really is. Yeah, it's different. It's very different tonally, but
yeah. It's like it like deepens a lot of the things, but in the way that it has to do that has to strays so far from the book.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that was convincing me while we were talking about it. Was like your point that he is a totally different Tom, and I'm like, yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah. So much so that when I started the movie, I was like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Oh fuck, come
Yeah.
on.
Well, that was something that was funny too, is because like I very legally used a device on my computer to stream this from UK Netflix.
Yeah,
completely legally.
I mean, that is legal.
You're in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
zooming in.
I'm zooming. I'm zooming in right
that's
now.
Big Ben in the background, isn't it? Yeah.
Boom. There you go. More of a ship ferry, but
and like started 10 minutes into the movie, and I was like, no, I should read more of the book. I don't want it to spoil it. But then the thing that was so funny is like starting to watch the first half hour of this movie after reading more of the book, I was like, oh, I would have been good, because like this is quite different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's kind of weird, like deepening the emotions, like because that is the thing. Like all the other characters in the book are kind of flat, except for Tom. But we're so locked into his perspective, and he hates people so much that there's like nothing.
And
you're
we're learning
get
about these people from his perspective.
From his perspective,
Right.
and
so it's like, who knows if they're actually that shitty? This is how he sees them.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just like loathes them for like being kind of boring or whatever, and like so we get nothing from them. In the movie, it like deepens them, and like I would just be kind of crazy to have like every other character be, oh wow, these are like emotional beings, and then you're at the center, you're like, and a black hole, a sociopathic black hole at the middle. So it's like interesting. So like you get so much more out of it.
Yeah.
In that way.
Well, Well, even getting back to my now infamous comment about the portrayal of Marge in the book as a bovine of less than
We had all completely forgotten. Justin, I don't know how you had to call her fat cow again.
Dumb cow.
Oh, sorry.
Dumb cow,
Sorry,
yeah.
dumb cow. She's not. She's quite a filter.
I mean, it was on the edge.
But it is the kind of thing like in the reading where it even though it's not necessarily in Tom's voice, it's so limited to Tom's perspective that I did sort of stop and say, like, are we going to get clues that like she's actually much more interesting than he's giving her credit for, and that the book is giving her credit for? And almost to Highsmith's credit, we never see more, but I'm still not convinced that it's because there's less to that person, and it's just all about that's Tom's perspective, and we're so limited to that perspective. So yeah. Maybe she's not.
Maybe she's not.
Yeah.
But we'll never know.
We'll never know.
People can change.
Yeah.
But she probably did have bras around.
At least one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many bras can you have? I don't know. 5?
Oh boy.
Let's take a poll. How many bras can you have? Are you counting how many there might be in your house? Yeah.
At least more
Dozens.
than one.
Yeah, more than
Dozens.
one. Perfect answer.
Thank
There
you.
go.
Great.
Well, yeah, because you got to have one while one's in the wash. Anyhow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you could never wash your bra. You could never not be wearing a bra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, when you go to bed, definitely when you go to bed.
Definitely when you go to bed, when you're washing your other bra. Yeah, all the time. When you're showering, if it's your shower bra also. Yeah. Well.
What a note to end on.
Yeah, like that's that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this awkward and delightful episode. I mean, actually, just the ending was awkward. The episode was delightful. Next month is Tyler's birthday pick. Is this correct? Because your month is in your birthday is in the month of March.
It is in the month of March, baby.
What is your birthday pick?
Well, I didn't love Cabal.
Mm-hmm. It kind of seemed like
or
you
Nightbreed.
did.
I kind of liked it by the end of it.
Kind of seemed like you did.
But it felt like you picked that, Allan,
to punish you? Because I did.
To punish me. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why we're going to be reading and watching Moneyball, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, get ready for Miguel Tejada.
What if I like it?
You're going to love the movie, but you are going to hate this book.
I can't wait.
Baby, you're going to hate it.
Is there an audiobook?
Probably, yeah. If you can stay awake for it, pal.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, advanced baseball statistics. Whether or not should they have kept Carlos Pena? Is Jeremy Giambi real dumb?
God.
Why is Art House such a jerk? Oh, you're going to
These are all
find
valid questions.
These are all names of baseball-related people that you're going to have to learn next month,
Can't
pal.
wait.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
It's going to be so fun.
I guess we'll see.
Hey, you like Brad Pitt.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
The movie's great.
Some people.
You're going to love the movie.
I guess. Those people are animals.
Emily, you got anything to plug or to tell people where to find you or anything like that?
I mean, you can find me wandering your local bookstore, but my name's Emily VanKoughnett.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could plug my job. Check out the Los Angeles Review of Books. If you don't know that there's a whole literary magazine about LA, there is, and it's really good. So, and then come to my parties about it.
That's right.
Yay!
Woo
Yeah,
woo. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, this was
blessed.
so much fun. You're definitely on the short list of people that will get invited back.
Oh my God, thank God. Yeah. If not, I know where you work.
That's right.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, and where at least one of you lives.
Also true.
And where I walk my dog.
I know all about where you walk your dog. Yeah. Sounds creepy and ominous. Sorry to be Tom Ripley. Yeah. Sorry to be Tom Ripley.
Out. You don't have to Ripley me to get noodles. You can just
hang out.
probably convince him to come with you.
Yeah, so true.
By the way, it was also the Titan Auto Company. So that's why it's Tighten Up from
the beginning?
From the beginning.
Wow.
And scene.
Wow.
All right, this has been great. Come back next month for Moneyball. It's sure to be something.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have lots of good Skylight stuff in between. Have a lovely rest of your life.
See you in the basement.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Skylight Books podcast series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to check out the book featured in this episode, or others, please visit skylightbooks.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, stop by for one of our live in-person author events. You can find a calendar on our website. If you like this podcast, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Our music is by Duck the Piano Wire. Till next time.